Hey everybody, it's the Archive Keeper here. I wanted to share a couple thoughts with you in a video today about things I've seen online, conversations that I would like to try and make my contribution to. Just a couple things today. The first one is regarding the recent conversation around price increases, the price of cards, especially as it affects the accessibility of the game to new players or to budget-conscious players. And kind of the FOMO and different things surrounding that. And then the second thing I want to touch on is something I've been thinking a lot about since Gothic came out, which is sort of how precious this time is, and how we should do more to appreciate the time that we're living in Sorcery's history. So I'll have a timestamp in the description if you want to skip to the second part, but I think the whole thing's going to be interesting. And I'm going to try and make it maybe not quick, but to the point. So in regard to the discussion that's been going on in all sectors of the community lately, with regard to availability of cards, price increases across the board, both in Gothic and in older sets, Arthurian Legends, uniques are out of control. Gothic uniques are getting out of control. The perspective I would like to offer is to just enjoy playing the game. If as players, and this is put on your player hat for a minute, I'm going to talk about, it's okay to wear multiple hats. I wear multiple hats, but with your player hat on, really the only question you need to worry about is, do you enjoy playing the game? Do you enjoy playing with the cards you have? Can you afford the cards you want to play with without financially hurting yourself? If so, buy them and enjoy them. And if not, then continue to enjoy the game as you have been. And that gets into this sort of, there's this thing called a hedonistic treadmill. You can Google that if you want, but the basic idea is that when we get to something better, when we find a new way to do something, or we find a better version of something, that instead of actually feeling a tangible improvement in our lives or in sorcery gameplay, all that does is set a new norm. That becomes the new standard. Recently, I bought a pack of Fat Boy ice cream sandwiches at the store, and they're very simple ice cream sandwiches: chocolate cookie, vanilla ice cream, but they are very good. And it was the first time my wife and I had ever had them, and my wife made the comment that she had always, and I agreed with her, we'd enjoyed the generic store brand versions for years. They were great. We enjoyed them. We looked forward to them. We enjoyed that product. But now that we've set a new standard, the new ice cream sandwiches are great, but we took a step on that hedonistic treadmill. We can't go back now. Similarly, when I was in college, StarCraft 2 was a pretty new game, and the meta was still evolving, and my roommate and I used to stay up all hours of the night playing the ladder on StarCraft 2. And he made the comment one time, we were discussing new metas and how to do things better, and he said, well, yeah, this might give you an edge for a few games or for a few days, but it's going to be worked into the new normal soon and eventually. And I think the nice thing about, especially with a more kitchen table experience like Sorcery often is we actually control the pace at which that hedonistic treadmill runs, at least for us in our play groups to some extent. When I started Sorcery in January of 2024, I bought 2 boxes of beta and the beta precons. And when I started, I was just playing the beta precons, and I enjoyed them. I thought they were great. That was my, store brand ice cream sandwich, and they were fantastic. And I've enjoyed adding new cards and opening more packs and all of that, but it's not like I was ever adding cards to a deck to get away from the deck being unfun. And I think maybe the best thing for us to do in a situation like this, where we're worried about accessibility and pricing of cards, is just to slow down, take a deep breath, and consider, are you having fun with the game? And if you are having fun with the game, don't worry about anything else. Again, with your player hat on. Now, we can talk a little bit about, I think it's helpful to be able to switch between, if you're both, like like I am, player and collector, I think it's really helpful to be able to compartmentalize. I have a box of alpha, I have sample cards, I have uncut sheets, all of which are purely cosmetic collectibles. They don't enhance the gameplay experience. Um, and so, my player brain thinks the collecting side is silly, because I'd rather have more cards to play with. By the same token, the collecting side of my brain, when I put my collecting hat on, buying 21 copies of Toolbox for $3.50, and Ordinary for $3.50, seems ridiculous from a from a collector point of view, especially from an investor point of view. It's an Ordinary, and I paid $3.50 for them. But the question I had to ask myself was, when I was deciding whether or not to buy them, is, can I afford this? Is it going to put a financial strain on my life, or cause me to not be able to fulfill obligations, or go into debt? Please do not go into debt to buy cards. And then secondly is, am I going to enjoy playing them? And the resounding answer was yes. The collection mechanic that Gothic added is incredibly fun, and for me, in that moment when I was making that decision, the cost of admission of buying toolboxes at $3.50 a piece was worth it. And so I shut off the collecting side of my brain, turned on the playing side of my brain, and I have no regrets. But I would still say, if I had been in that decision-making moment and had chose not to buy them, I'd still be playing Sorcery, and I'd still be enjoying it. So again, I think the best thing is for all of us to just slow down. Life is really fast-paced. Internet content is really fast-paced. We all want to be on the cutting edge of everything. We don't want to feel behind. But comparison really is the thief of joy. And if you're comparing your playing experience or your decks to other people's, that's what's going to rob you of your joy. I promise you, the Sorcery starter decks are a blast. And maybe you get tired of them eventually, but there's 8 decks out now. Well, 12 if you count the alpha ones, but they're a little pricey. But if you just take the 8 from Beta and Gothic, I mean, that's a lot of replayability, a very fun gameplay. With pretty minimal upfront investment. So yeah, I think if we just collectively take a deep breath, think about the fun we're having playing, we'll realize you don't necessarily need to keep up with the Joneses in order to enjoy and appreciate Sorcery as a trading card hobby. Now, the second thing I wanted to talk about in this video, pretty unrelated, but it's something I've been thinking about for the last couple months as we've built up to the Gothic release, and as Gothic has come out, and now having some time to really settle with Gothic, I'm reminded of a quote from The Office where one of the characters says, I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days when you're in them. And so I guess it is related to the first part, because this is kind of a slow down and take a deep breath kind of moment, and really just appreciate how much the game is changing, and how much of an experience it was getting to move through it all, getting to start with Beta, and then have Arthurian Legends come out and really change the game. And then having Gothic come out and change the game even further, adding collections and all kinds of new themes, avatars, inventing totally new play styles, different elites and uniques, giving you whole new deck themes to build around even within different avatars. I think it's really interesting to think about that those of us who have been with the game for even a year or two now, we lived through a really interesting time in Sorcery's history, and that I think 10, even 20 years from now, these are the moments that we're going to remember really, really fondly when we're talking to new friends, or maybe your younger siblings, or maybe even your kids 20 years from now. It's very easy to get caught up in the moment and miss the forest for the trees. But despite whatever tumultuous thing seems to be going on in the moment right now, I find it really valuable and really satisfying to kind of zoom out, see the bigger picture, and realize that that we lived a very unique experience, getting to experience beta, getting to experience how much AL changed the game, and now getting to experience truly how much Gothic changed the game. And new players after Gothic will never remember Sorcery without a collection. They'll never remember a Sorcery without Toolbox and Silver Bullet. They'll never remember Sorcery with a couple dozen avatars. So what I want us to do is just appreciate the place where we're at and how good we really have it in the broader scheme of things, especially in the broader scope of the TCG world. Even right now, I think we have it great as sorcerers, and definitely I think in the history of all trading card games, we have it really good as sorcerers, and we're going to continue to have it really good as sorcerers. It's easy to nitpick on the topic of the day, the topic du jour, but I don't think it's as healthy, I guess, for us as individuals or as a community. So yeah, if I can leave you with a call to action, it's just to slow down, take a deep breath, and just focus on enjoying the game, and buy cards if you can afford them, and don't buy them if you can't. The game is as fun as you let it be. Comparison's the thief of joy, and try and zoom out and see the bigger perspective when we get maybe unnecessarily bogged down in the minutia of day-to-day issues that aren't as helpful when we're considering how truly tremendous and novel a game Sorcery really is. When you think about how much you're looking forward to contesting the realm in the future, I think you'll see that whatever problems the community's talking about today are probably not going to be things that destroy our enjoyment of the game as players or even collectors in the long run. If you agree or disagree or have any thoughts, I'd love to hear about them in the comments. I try to reply to all of them that I can, and if I don't reply, I guarantee I read your comment, and they all mean a lot to me. So then I guess just last thing is a channel update. I do still have a couple of scripts I'm working on. I'm being really particular on trying to get them right, on trying to strike the right tone of meaningful, but also not meaningful, but also with some brevity, not too long-winded. So there's a couple videos. One's on the future of the local game store as a business model, and then I just started a script on the complexity of Sorcery compared to other trading card games, and kind of why I don't think it's a problem, why it may actually be a good thing. I have some thoughts about those things to share with you soon. Looking forward to hearing from you, looking forward to seeing you, and until then, enjoy contesting the realm.